Well guys, here she sits. This is her final day being considered a truck, I think. It is time to completely tear this thing apart. Welcome back to another video, guys. Like I mentioned, this is it. Today is the day that we are starting to completely disassemble this thing. We got a ton of work to do. Hopefully by the end of today, this thing is completely stripped down. You guys have been blowing me up about parts for this thing. So yeah, we're just gonna try and get this thing apart, and that's the goal for today. The goal for today is to see if we can get this cab off and have this thing completely stripped down so we can get these parts out of here. So Big Red, whatever you want to call this beast, today is it. Today is your final day running, being considered a truck. I am not, we're not ruining, we're not totaling this truck, obviously. You guys know in the last video, we need a chassis for our 1970 D200. And this truck right here is gonna provide all of that. So pretty much all of the body, the interior, we're using everything else, the transmission, all of the drivetrain. So it is a perfect donor for that project over there. So we're not tearing this truck up for no good reason. We're tearing it up for a much better reason. So without further ado, roll cart over there, and let's blow this thing apart into a million pieces. Been doing some serious damage on this thing, so we are pretty much ready. I would say almost ready to lift this cab up. So it's a lot of wiring and stuff like that. One of the big things that we have left is this big wiring. I don't know if you guys can even see. There's a lot of sun action going on in here, but I got a big wiring bulkhead connector right here. We've already removed the steering shaft. We've got the hydraulics. all the electronics from up here. Hopefully when we go to lift this thing off, it's not a tension test on what wires that we have to still disconnect. But got the coolant lines off the back of the firewall. We have to undo the AC, and then there is basically this front section is going to stay. I was debating on trying to take this out. Got the mounts right here, the bolts right there, and then we've got a couple down in here. Got to take the steps off. But yeah, it's pretty much just these guys left, and the interior pieces. We got to go ahead and remove that, because all of the engine and transmission stuff is going to stay with the truck. But we're moving along. It's really just removing everything off of this side of the firewall. We're going to go ahead and remove the master cylinder, hydro boost, all that stuff from inside here. That's the way you undo all of the hydraulics. Again, this truck was actually an automatic. You can see up here, our bolts right up here. That's how we're going to go ahead and disconnect our brake, disconnect all that stuff. But yeah, we're moving along. It's actually going a lot quicker than I expected. So a lot of this stuff is already sold. If you guys are interested in anything, now is the time to reach out and let me know. Like I said, I don't want to ship anything. If you guys are able to pick this stuff up, that would be your best bet. But I'll just run through real quick what is actually sold. Got the FAST pulled off with the harness. That's already sold. I believe the fenders are sold. The cab is sold. Headlights and bumper are sold. The gauges. So these are glow shift gauges. Looks like all of the wiring is here. We have a pyro, boost, and fuel pressure gauge, which I believe worked. They weren't hooked up, but all the wiring is there, so those should be good. Do not have a home for those yet. If you guys are interested in the radiator intercooler, those don't have a home yet. I mean, if you guys want the batteries, those look like pretty much brand new batteries. If there's any miscellaneous pieces that you guys are interested in, I don't think I have a home for the mirrors or the doors yet. There was a lot of interest in different doors from a lot of different people. So if you're local and can come get the doors, again, local first. I'm sorry, that's just kind of makes it easier for me to try and ship some of this stuff. The seat actually did work. The motor, well, not anymore. The batteries aren't hooked up, but I know somebody reached out to me on Instagram about the center console, the seats, the back seat, I believe, is sold. So yeah, speak up now or forever hold your peace, because as soon as we make our money back on this thing, everything else is going bye-bye. So let me know, hit me up. We're going to go ahead and continue on. We're going to take the steps off, take those bolts out, disconnect that, and hopefully we will be able to lift this sucker up. Should be pretty interesting how we're going to do it, but hopefully that happens today. And all we'll see is an engine, transmission, transfer case, drive shaft, and basically a bare frame. One last thing to add there, I forgot. Don't comment in the comment section, because I have no way of reaching out to you in the comment section. If you guys are interested in something, either Instagram, direct message, or my email down below. That's the best bet. So here is where we are at. The cab is up. You always forget about that one thing though. When you're rolling this out, the back tires are gonna hit the jacks like this. So we're in the middle of trying to get creative to roll this thing out, but it is pretty much free and clear. Did not take as long as I really anticipated, except for just running into stupid nonsense like this, because we're still working like yahoos out here with no jack or anything, but everything is disconnected, everything is good to go. That was pretty much it. We didn't really have anything that kind of bit us, but left some things on the firewall that weren't really connected to the engine. And yeah, it's really just all of the brake stuff, the ABS stuff, the electrical connectors, that stuff's all sitting there, and disconnecting the steering shaft, and we're good to go. But we're just right now we're just trying to get creative with some 2x4s and try to get this thing rolled out from underneath here before the end of the day. So that's where we're at. I'm very sick and tired of not having a lift. I'll tell you that much. It is the following morning. We pretty much ran out of daylight last night, but goal for the day was accomplished. We did in fact sneak the frame and the chassis out from underneath the cab. Got a little creative. Huge thank you as always to my man Sawyer. Came over here, gave me a hand. I was definitely getting to the point where I was pretty frustrated because of the lack of a lift here. But again, we got it done. And sometimes you just got to push through those times. If you don't have everything you need, you just got to get creative and get it done. So got one heck of an oily coming from the back here. That's where all of this is coming from, and I believe it actually is just coming from one of those two valve cover gaskets. But overall, very, very, very clean platform chassis to build off of. Looks like it's got a power steering leak over here. Looks like one of those hoses are rubbed through. As you can see, these are not the OEM hoses. Those are just kind of hose clamped. And that one looks like it's a little bit rubbed through. So that cooler is actually the transmission cooler, which comes back here to the heat exchanger, which you can tell they just kind of like cut off. They cut this off and they cut one up here. And it kind of like circulates around through the back. So it's still circulating coolant right now, but we'll go ahead and delete that all off, clean all this up. Yeah, see, it's leaking all the way up here, so it's definitely a valve cover gasket that's causing all of that mess. So next step up is trying to fit this body on this chassis. Probably got a little bit of work grinding off all of the existing mounts, because obviously we're not going to be using those. But yeah, we're gonna go through a lot of this stuff. We're basically gonna get the body fitted on there, mounted on it, and before we go ahead and like final secure it down, we'll go ahead, wash it, paint it, do whatever we're gonna do to it. I found the drive shaft, and I found out why it's not in the truck. Looks like it has seen some better days. So that's probably the reason why the front drive shaft was not in it. But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very happy. Look at this bird. There's birds. Freaking birds. I'm about to chop down all these trees. All of them. All these trees. I'm going to chop them all down. But again, guys, just another reminder that sometimes when things just are kicking your butt, man, just don't give up. Just step back and maybe call a buddy, get another set of eyes on it, and just get it done. Just get it done. So I'm happy that we got this done, and the cab is off, and we can start now tearing this thing down, building it. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm happy. I don't know why. I just want to keep looking at it. Just rattle off the things that I know. I think I still have up to this point right now. Another night. So doors. Reach out to me about doors. The gauges, I think, are missing some of the sending units, but the gauges still look good and the pillar is still good. The mirrors, intercooler, radiator. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you guys this radio install. So here is this bezel, which looks to be in okay shape, but I'm just not really sure how it's really supposed to be held on back here, because it's not really secured very well, and I'm not sure if stuff is broken or just stuff is I'm not really sure. As you can see, somebody got a little creative, but you know, I know a lot of people were asking about that. This is just no mounting required. No mounting required. It was just kind of shoved in there. But this does work. Kenwood. It's a Kenwood unit, so looks like it's in pretty decently good shape. I did test it before I took it all out. So that worked. The CD thing worked. I'll go ahead and try and unplug all this, but I can stay like that for this hot second. But yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. There was one there was one last thing that I wanted to show you guys, and actually, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. All right, don't mind the mess. We kind of just threw things last night. Check this out. Look at how deep this is. This is all of the change that we pulled out of this truck. Now, here's what I wanna do. Take your guesses down below in the comments. I will read them all. Allie is gonna read them all. Allie is gonna clean all this up and count this. Whoever guesses right on the money, or maybe the closest within a couple pennies, we'll send you something. I don't know, Wrenchworks or something. I wanna do something cool, but that is all of the change. My guess is it's gotta be, I don't know, somewhere around 30 to 40 bucks in here. So go ahead, take your guesses down below to the penny. There's quite a bit of pennies in here, and we'll pick a winner here within the next day or two. Allie's gonna spend some time cleaning that up. But that is pretty much going to wrap up this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button before you leave, subscribe if you have not already, and we will continue to get that body mounted on this chassis, keep working on everything else, and I will see you guys tomorrow. See ya.